Good morning and welcome to the Coffee and Conversation. We do apologize for getting started late, but listen, make sure you like, you share all of that great stuff as we rock out on YouTube and Facebook, as my husband and I come together and just share some tips on this live Monday. So rock out with us. Listen, here we go. Let's grow. Good morning, husband. I don't see you.
Hey, my camera not working?
Your camera not working?
Hang on a second.
No.
Let me fix that. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Listen, welcome everybody to the coffee conversation. If you're joining, just shout. There you go, husband. Handsome.
Hey. Don't make me happy this morning.
Huh?
Listen, make me happy this morning.
I know, right? This oh, you stupid. Um, welcome everybody. Thank y'all for joining. If you're joining now, we had some technical difficulties, but we're starting this morning as we talk about coffee conversation. Husband, you
Hey,
ready?
I just got through praying about our topic to make sure that I'm not just physically ready, I'm spiritually ready. And um, God has shared some things with me. So, listen, I want y'all to do me a favor. Do like my wife just always says, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Listen, we are excited always to come here to share with you every first Monday of the month. Listen, we didn't want to go big. We wanted to start small. One day we'll start coming more frequently, but hey, we wanted to undercommit and over deliver. We want to
Right.
commit to you at a light level and then deliver on a consistent basis and to make sure we could do this because listen, we love meeting with you, we love sharing with you, we love talking with you. So do us a favor, share this with as many people as you can if you've been blessed. And if you have been blessed by, do they have a coffee logo somewhere? Can they find a coffee cup
Oh
somewhere?
no.
Yeah, I
Oh
don't
no,
know.
they can't.
If y'all can find a coffee cup somewhere or any type of thing, I want y'all to kind of just share with us either one or two things. If you've been enjoying the coffee conversations, share with us a smiley face. If you that's a quick one to find, or if you can find a coffee cup, I would love to see a coffee cup across there to signify our coffee and conversation. And listen, I do have my coffee and we have some conversation for you. Good morning, Miss Wagner. Good
Good
morning, Miss
morning.
Bondage.
It was so
Good
good to
morning,
see her
everybody.
yesterday
It
to come
was.
out and support Alana. We appreciate that, Liz and Ebony. Thank y'all so much for joining us.
Yes.
They found the
Yes.
coffee, Bishop. Good
Okay,
morning,
there you go.
Ebony.
There you go, Miss Bondage. If you have been enjoying these, find the coffee. Find the coffee. When we talk to our Lions Day members, we like to see Lions. We talk to you. We love to see coffee cups. Just let you know that you are, rolling with us. But let's start off with a quick prayer. Father, I come this morning saying thank you for this Monday morning. Thank you, Lord, for this first Monday of the year. God, I ask you, Lord, as we command our Monday morning already, we ask right now, God, we begin to command our month. For everyone who's listened to us this morning, God, I pray, God, that you give them authority, you give them victory in their mind before they walk into their reality, so that everything that they accomplish shall be victorious. God, we love you, we honor, we adore you. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Amen. So, husband,
We have
you
a good
ready?
topic. We
Yeah.
do. I am. But listen, I want to just share one thing real quick. As we're talking today, feel free to talk to us, chat, come with comments, questions, thought processes. We want to make this, my wife says, not just a monologue, but a dialogue. We love to talk to you and talk back to us. Just dialogue with us this morning, and we'll make sure we acknowledge as many as we can. But good morning, family, more fam.
Right. Good morning.
So listen, so baby, do you want to just jump into this topic today?
Yeah, y'all know we come with a topic every first Monday. So every first Monday, rock out with us at 7 a.m. here as we do the coffee and conversation. We come up with different topics every time about life. About one may be about life, one may be about love, one may be about marriage, one may be about ministry. But today we're talking more ministry,
Life. I think it's more life.
more life like that.
Yeah, more
Yeah.
life.
So I would just say you want to just give them the topic, husband.
Yeah, before I tell you that, baby, you looking cute in your glasses this morning.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, girl, them
Don't tell me
lows.
that. Don't tell
But
me that.
this morning the topic is stop surviving and start thriving. Stop
Yeah.
surviving and start thriving. You know, we have come a
Good
long ways.
morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Rope and Rodeo, Tony Parker. But listen, I want y'all as y'all driving down the road and as y'all sitting in your day, do your best to kind of keep your earphones in, keep listening to us because we want to really invest in you. You know, we're getting in a season. She's so demure. Yes, she is. I'm learning that's a fad, and that's something everybody's saying. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to get caught up to the fad. But whatever that means, I agree. But we want to speak life into you. We want to speak, encouraging words into you. We get into that season, everybody's starting to write their resolutions and things that they're going to start doing next year. And my daughter said something yesterday before she got to the pulpit. It was in a staff meeting, a leadership meeting, and she said, "You know what? I don't want to wait until January 1 to start believing in myself.
All right.
January 1 is another day. And this is not about New Year's resolutions. This is about taking control of your life, taking control of your day. So I want you to, before I start talking to you, if you truly, 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 truly believe in yourself and believe that you're more than where you are, this is only going to make sense if you truly believe that you are more than where you are. My wife used the words, some people feel stuck. And some people not don't feel stuck, but they feel like, man, I feel like I'm not stuck, but I haven't found that way out. If you truly believe you're more than where you are, I'm going to start off the number count today. Put the number 1 on the screen. If you know for a fact I am more than where I am, I'm bigger than this, I'm better than this, I'm 30 plus, I'm 40 plus, I'm 50 plus, who cares? You don't turn a switch off of progress just because you get older, but I'm more than where I am. Hey, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
If that's you, I want you to see number one. I want you to see number one, because this is about us really trying to pour into you. There you go. Like I see the ones coming in. That's why I was pouring into you, because if the only way you're gonna stop surviving and start thriving, you gotta first admit, and I got some things I want to share. You gotta first admit you are surviving. You gotta
Right.
admit, and not just admit you're surviving. You gotta admit I am not thriving. So I want to see the ones. I want to see the ones. You gotta first admit I am one surviving and I'm not thriving. That is a hard thing to admit. I am surviving, not thriving. Even though you may be doing good one place, there we go. I see y'all. I see y'all. Even though you're doing good in one place, and so I want to kind of bring this up real quick. I want to share two things real quick, and as we're talking, baby, just feel free to jump in. But I
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about, what does surviving mean?
Mm.
What does it mean to survive? Because
Wait,
that's,
before you get into that, can I just add to a little flavor to it as
yes,
well?
please.
Is that when here's the thing that I found out is that when we are in a place and you got to know and you got to be honest with yourself and be truthful with yourself when you realize that you're in a place of that you're just moving and you're just living life, but living life without direction, living life without purpose, living life without making plans for your future, living life without and you don't know what's going to happen even today. You're just going and doing the routine of life. If that is you, I dare you show a hand. Like
Yeah,
I'm in a place and no just what
no
Lorna
judge
said
zone.
yesterday. We do not. What she say?
Mm,
We do
I
not
should put
judge.
it.
It's the new thing.
Some, something
Oh
and I do
God, I
not
can't think
judge.
of it.
Something and I do not judge.
Yeah, I listen and I do not judge.
Yes,
So
it
we
was.
listening and we do not judge. Show of hands, just throw your hands up, give us a hand or whatever, and just you've been that person where you have experienced it. I throw my hand up. I have experienced that.
Yeah.
Been at a place where called stuck and just living life and doing life and knowing that there's something else more for me to do, but I don't know exactly what to do or how to do it. So this is really for you, is that you've been doing life, you've been living it, but now you want to thrive and you want to move,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
We want to drive. They help me. We listen
We
and we
listen,
don't
we
judge
don't
it. Yeah,
judge.
this on this call, we listen and we don't judge. But
Exactly.
maybe that is you. If that is you, this here message is for you. And maybe you've been thriving and you've been moving, but all of a sudden you're at a place of complacency. This is for you because
Yeah.
we're going into a new year, y'all, and you're gonna hear everybody talk about that, and we finna bust it down. Yes, we are going into a new year, and we wanted to make sure when we came to you live this morning that we massage your mind to get you to a point of thinking about thriving and not just surviving. I just want to add that to it.
Yeah, no problem. And so, and I don't want anyone to ever, so don't get caught up in the trends so much to where you say, I don't care about, the New Year's. I thank God for a fresh start. I
Every
thank
day is a
God for
fresh start.
yeah,
Shoot.
I thank
every
God
day.
for us, the clock to start over and the day to start over, so now I can hit it again. So let's talk about real quick. What is surviving? Surviving. For those who got a pen or those got to make mental notes, surviving is doing just enough to get by, doing or having resources. That's I want to kind of focus on that. Having the resources to only have enough to get by. I mean, like, man, I feel like that. I'm barely paying bills. I'm barely, getting enough gas money and barely, just every day seemed like a scrape. Every day seemed like a scavenge. It's like, man, I'm tired of surviving. I'm tired. And some people, okay, some people go into survival mode. Some people intentionally say, you know what? I know for a fact, and I know there's better, but I'm okay just being right here and just barely making it and barely. And listen, I was in survival mode for a long time. And listen, I was so domineering, all those controllers out there. I was so domineering. I tried to program my wife to be okay with surviving. I tried to program my wife, and then therefore, my children had a crisis in their mindset because they saw mama wanting more, and they saw daddy, trying to hold us back. And so not only was I programming my wife, I was programming my children to a scavenger, to a limited mindset because I was okay because wanting more scared me. Wanting more scared me. And so surviving is doing only enough to get by and having enough resources just to get by. We run out of money, we run out of food, we run out of resources. And that's survival mode. And watch this here, babe. Why do we go in survival mode? This is the kicker right here. This is where we're gonna kick somebody in the gut. I hope you got your stomach guard on for to kick you in the gut. And I had to sit back and go into prayer mode and ask God, why do we end up in survival mode? And this is the reason why we end up in survival mode because the resources have dried up where we are. The reason I'm in survival mode because the resources have dried up the resources have dried up where you are. And the resources dried up where you are because you got to borrow everything. You got to borrow everything. Everything you get, you got to borrow. Can I borrow us a cup of sugar? Can I borrow? Man, I need to borrow a little money here. Listen, you got to admit the resources have dried up where you are. Second thing, because God told you to move somewhere you wasn't willing to go.
That part, sir.
God told you to move somewhere you wouldn't go. And thirdly, we're gonna deal with all this real quick. And this is just the first part, just on surviving, because you was afraid to move.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say it again. When you're surviving, you're doing just enough to get by. And the reason why you're doing this or don't have enough resources to get by because your resources have dried up. That's the first thing you gotta acknowledge. I and it's horrible, baby, when you go from thriving to surviving because you got blessed, you got increased, and everything was going well for you, and all of a sudden you hung out there so long to where I'm looking at a plant here in my office that I forgot to water last week. We were so busy because Thanksgiving and everything, and it looked like it's withering. Listen, it's bad when you was thriving one time and now it look like you're withering. And it's because I said again, the resources have dried up where you are because God told you to move and you was too afraid. And you know what I think about, babe, when I think about that? I think about when we was in the house in Conroe and we were there. God told us to be there. God told us that we were good being there and everything was great. But when God told you to move and I didn't listen, everything in that house started falling apart.
Yeah.
Everything around us the truck started falling apart. And I was too afraid. I mean, the air conditioner started falling apart.
Sure, we had our first repo, ever, because of that too. Because of that, we had our first repo.
hmm Everything started falling apart. Everything started drying up. And I want to get that to your heart for those who are surviving right now. Ask yourself, are you surviving because, listen, God told us to move. And listen, and since we didn't move, because you got to realize that God is a graduating God. He doesn't. He's not stagnant. He's not still. We think, okay, God put me here. God, why can't I flourish here? God flourish us in growth. God flourish us in development. God does not flourish us in um, self indulgence to where we got on this job and I want to stay here. I want to be here forever. Or we got on this marriage and I don't want my marriage to change. Keep everything the same. God flourishes in growth and development. So if God told you to move, and that's so the first thing you got to admit, if you are surviving, you got to admit that you're surviving. But then you got to admit that possibly because did God tell me to do something and I didn't do it? Did God tell you to
That part
leave?
right there.
Did God tell you to leave that job and you stay? Did God tell you to you move and you didn't move? And then all of a sudden, if you didn't, and especially if your spouse, if you know everything around you said do it and you didn't, the repercussions are things are gonna dry up, things are gonna start withering. And so that's the first thing. Babe, do you want to talk about more on surviving before I go to thriving?
Go ahead.
So thriving, what is the thriving? Thriving is you are exactly where God called you. You are exactly what God called you, and you are number one. You doing what God called you to do. Therefore, you're getting everything God has for you. Surviving is you are exactly what God called you. You're doing what God called you to do, and you're getting everything God has for you. So you got two different dynamics here. One where you disobey God, and disobeying God is not just doing something that's so sinful. Disobeying God because you didn't move. And since you didn't move, you sitting here and you're struggling because you're afraid. And I'm sorry to tell you, God will dry up the resources where you are. This is why it's so important that whenever God tells you to move, you do, because if not, you're gonna unnecessarily put your family through hell. You're gonna unnecessarily put your family through drought. You're gonna necessarily put your family through struggles. And then you got this stage in your life to where you know what, I obey God and I got everything. So the question is, how do I go from here to here? This is what we're going to deal with this morning. How do I go from that person where I am afraid, I don't know how to transition? How do I go from here to here? And that's what we're going to talk about this morning. How do I go from the place of I'm afraid, I've never been here before, to a place of, man, I had the faith, I was able to move? Because truthfully, nobody wants to go in survival mode. People want to thrive, but we're too afraid to thrive. We want to talk about that, babe?
Yeah, I kind of tell me because I want to make sure that I'm in the same vein.
Hmm.
When because I think what I look at and what I think about when I think about the started surviving and thriving is that I look at the and a young man said it the other day at a funeral, is that I look at the dash in the middle. You got to ask
Hmm.
yourself, what are you doing in your now to create opportunities or legacies for yourself? What are you doing in your now to be able to create something for your next? And that's where we really got to home in on, is on that part, is
Yeah.
really understanding, like, what are you doing in your now to be able to prepare for your next?
Yeah. And the key thing, the first step that I would say, and where I'm going with this is a three-part piece that I feel in my spirit. Number one, that the first way what you have to do to transition. Picture yourself, you stuck. You know you belong over here, you stuck. I need to get over here, but I don't know. Maybe I need to go to school, but I don't know what school look like. Maybe I need to start a business, but I don't know what it look like to start a business. Maybe, I should be moving to, but the first thing you got to do, and write this down, embrace what God said. Embrace what God said. You got to say, okay, I got to own that this is not where I belong. I got to own that. Because as long as you don't own that, you're going to be sitting there and owning where you are, fighting where you belong. If you don't own the fact that you don't belong here, you're going to be fighting to stay where you are, and at the same time fighting against where you belong. And so that's the key thing. If you don't ever, you can never go from stuck. You can never go from, being in a place of survival mode to thriving mode if you don't ever just own the fact, I don't belong here.
And
I,
let's embrace that. I want you to put the number one, and not number one, but put embrace where you what did you say? Embrace what?
you got to embrace what God is calling you to go.
You got to embrace. Just put the word embrace, embrace, embrace.
Embrace what He said about you. Embrace what He said about
Embrace.
you.
Yeah, embrace what God said. Here's the thing when it comes down to that, is that until you admit or embrace where you are, you will not be able to overcome. Here's the thing that I found out with people that don't learn how to embrace where they are and accept where they are, meaning that they don't learn how to become humble in that state of embracing. You will find yourself thinking that you have all the answers to your next. Come
Yeah.
here. You will find yourself in a state of thinking that you have everything that you need because I'm doing what I'm called to do. I don't know how many people that I've had sit down with me and make a statement that I'm doing what I'm called to do. This is what I'm doing this, but there's nothing that you're doing to tap into anything to make you go deeper, to
Yeah.
make you learn more. You're not tapping into books. You're just only doing what you know. I shared with a girl the other day. I said, she asked me a question. She said, somebody said, it's heaven or hell, right? It said it's heaven or hell, and that's how she preached. She preached like a brimstone preacher. Not knocking nobody that preach like that. Don't come for me. We listen, but we don't judge. Don't come for me. But the thing is that what I had to tell her is that you only do what you know until you tapped in something else and understand more and embrace the fact that I don't know. I don't know what I don't know, but I
Yep.
only know what I know. And if I only know what I know, I'm only going to do what I can do.
That's
I'm
it.
not learning nothing more. And if you do not embrace the fact that I need to know more, if I'm going to get to a place of unstuck, if I'm going to get to a place of learning the new me, I gotta embrace that I don't know what I don't know. I've only known what I've known. It reminds me of the butterflies in a jar.
Hmm.
The butterflies in the jar, they went, and when they had babies, those babies would fly up to the top. Just an example, fly up to the top of the jar because the top was on the jar. But one day somebody opened up the top and let the top off, and when they opened up the top, the mother of the butterfly was still climbing to the top. This is just a myth, okay, so just follow me. That climbed up, she kept going to the top. The children would only go so far, but one person in the butterfly in the jar said, wait a minute, the jar is open. I can fly out of this jar and do something more than I ever done. Until you embrace that I can do more than my mama. I can do more, not coming against your parents, not coming against nobody else, but I can build legacy. I can do something totally different. Until we embrace that, you'll forever be in a place of complacency because you know everything.
That's
And you
it.
feel
That's it.
like you know everything and you don't need nobody help. I don't need nobody to help me. I got this. Maybe that's you, because we got to speak to that. We got to embrace what God said about us. God said that I own a cattle on 1,000 hills. Anything you want, you can have it. That Tonya just added to that. God also said that wealth and riches can live in your house. God also said, by my stripes, you are healed. It's learning to embrace that I only know what I know.
And what you got to realize too, this is the biggest thing about this, right? As we go into this new thought process, God never call you where you were. He
Oh,
never called you where you
that's
were.
good,
He never
sir.
called you, your old things. Listen, I've never seen God call a single woman who's supposed to be married single. He called her what she don't see. He called you. He called her married, even though no one in her family was married. Maybe everyone in your family didn't get married. He's gonna call you what you never seen. He's gonna call you what you don't believe, and he's gonna call you to a place you never been before. That's a key thing. If he didn't call you what you haven't been, there will be no need to call you. You would already be where you are. You would already be doing what you're doing. But the fact that he's literally calling you something else is because it's so unfamiliar to you.
It's so unfamiliar.
So watch this. So for you to embrace what he's calling you, you got to admit who you are is no longer who you should be.
Right.
You got to admit if God's calling you a business owner, that means if you are a business owner, number one, you don't know anything about business. Get it, got it. That's what daughter said yesterday. Favor is not fair. And she said in this perspective, she said favor is not fair because that means the favor you got is going to put you through to get what God's calling you. So it still is not fair for even for you. So
Mhm.
you got to admit that, okay, if God's calling me married, that means that everything about me is single. That means, watch this, everything about me got to change because I don't know what a married woman looks like. That means I have to go through some things to get to a point to where I am in a married mindset. So I have to embrace.
And I got to change my atmosphere. My atmosphere has to change, and it changes without you even knowing that it's changing, because now you have your taste buds changed. Oh, can somebody type taste buds? Your spiritual taste buds starts to change, and you find yourself wanting to be around those that are married. You find yourself watching other married people. You find yourself looking at the very thing that you think you cannot have. You find yourself learning and gleaning from the. I never forget, man. Before I got married, all my nothing against all my single friends. If they watching, know I love you. But I remember I got around a lady and she had been married for 30 years. And I wanted to learn from her. I wasn't even married yet, but she was teaching me about makeup, teaching me about, all this stuff that I did not do. I never done anything like that, wear makeup, do anything to that nature. But I can sense and see that my taste buds had changed. I felt relationship was a
Yeah.
part of my calling. I felt that it was a part of what I was designed to do. That's when and it didn't and it looked familiar because my mom and dad has been married for 43 years. So it looked familiar to be married, but I wanted something different in my marriage, if that makes sense. I knew I wanted to be married. And when you know that, your atmosphere starts to change and your connection with people start to change. Even
Yep.
when we wanted a house, we got around people that had houses. We start going to their houses. We were living in an apartment, but we feel like we're supposed to have a house.
That's
When
it.
you start sensing that, you got to embrace it and start getting around people that talks that language. When we started New Destiny Church, we got around people that had churches, that were pastors and leaders, so that we can glean from them. Your taste buds start to change. Business, same way. Taste buds starts to change. It becomes different. You want something different. And it almost irritates you
Mm-hmm.
when a single woman say, I'm okay with being single. Really? Okay. I don't want to have this conversation because I ain't okay with that. You start thinking, and nothing against them, because that may be what they want and they're okay with that. But when you're a girl that's not okay with where you're at, you look for something different.
And I say this here. I had another point, but I'm gonna swap the points because the first thing is you got to embrace what God said about you, and then after you embrace what God said about you, you got to remove yourself from people that call you different or say different. That is so important
Mhm.
because the worst thing you do is you try to embrace what God said about you, but you can hang around people who keep calling you what you was. You got to literally, like my wife says, I'm going to add that. You got to change your environment. The moment you start embracing, I am no longer single. I supposed to be married. I am no longer gonna be broke. I gotta walk in prosperity. I'm no longer gonna, work on this job forever. I'm gonna start my own business. The moment that you begin to start embracing, this is what I'm embracing. I am a college student. I'm embracing. I am I'm debt free. Once you start embracing that, you must secondly change your environment. You have to
Right.
change your environment.
You
You may
got
not be ready to walk into your new yet,
it.
but you got to say, God, I got, and listen, to change your environment is literally night and day because I got to stop hanging around the wrong people and then start hanging around the right people. That's atmospheric shifts. Remember this, we talked this years ago. Some things can't grow in some atmospheres, and some things can only grow in the right atmosphere.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, a prosperity mindset can't hang around poverty thinking people. It cannot grow in that environment. A marital mindset can't grow in a single atmosphere. You got to figure, okay, God, if I'm going to grow, I'm embracing this. But for me to actually go from embracing this to actually believing this, I got to hang around people who's
Right.
doing it at a great level.
Come on. And I would even add, I heard somebody say, I think it was on TikTok. I don't know who said it, but they said this. Because when you start getting into atmosphere and they be like, well, I know you. This is who you are. No, you knew me. You don't know me now because I'm changing. I'm shifting. And when somebody have a problem with you changing, that's a problem because
Yes.
you want me to stay the same. You want me to be complacent. You want me to have the same mindset. And I'm not knocking you of where you are. Be where you are. But I have to be able to remove myself, uh announce my shift. I'm always say that. Now, don't be moving out here cutting people because, oh, you ain't nothing like me. I'm better than you. The devil is a lie. No, 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 no. Because you are her and she is you, or you are him and he is you. It's learning that I cannot cut you. I gotta untie the situation. If you ain't never heard me say that, type in the screen cut if you've heard me say, or if you haven't, cut and don't what I say, untie. What I say?
Don't cut them off on time.
Don't cut them off, untie them. Don't cut them off, untie them. When you get to a point where you know you have to remove, thank you, Tonya, remove yourself from the wrong environments. When you feel you know that it is time, announce your shift.
Yeah.
to those that it really pertains to, that gonna hurt their feelings because you're not answering the phone, you're not texting the way you used to do, you're not doing a thing. You gotta be willing to make sure you don't cut them, but you untie them to let you know it's not you, it's me.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
don't have nothing to do with you, sugar. It's all me. I want to make sure.
You can even say, I'm trying to find myself right now.
I'm trying to find myself, baby. That's it. And nothing to do with you. I'm just trying to find myself because I found out some environments can cause contamination to grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hear me when I say some environments, if you stay there, and it goes back to the house, husband, in Cleveland. It goes back, in Conroe. It goes back to the house that we were living in. The environment was no longer welcoming to our new atmosphere.
No, no. It
Woo!
was not what God called us.
It was
It was
not what
not
God
what God
called
called
us.
us.
Yeah, it was time for us to move. It was time for us to leave. And so because we stayed, come here. Some of you may know the story, some of you may not. Because we stayed in this house that the Lord told us that our time was up in this home that we were at for over 12, 13 years
Hmm.
of this home that we was at. And the Lord said, I'm trying to move you to better. Who am I talking to? I'm trying to get you to a place of unstuck. I'm trying to get you to a place of new opportunities. I'm trying to get you to a place of new abundance. I'm trying to get you to a place of something different. But we stayed there. And
Yep.
baby, when we stayed there, when I say that atmosphere, that whole house, there was no more peace in the house. There was no more joy in the
It wasn't.
house. I don't call it arguing. We had a heated fellowship a whole lot. Marriages, time my marriages. We don't argue. We have heated fellowship. Type that, every marriage person. Heated fellowship was happening. Them kids was doing stuff that was making me come out of my, yeah. Yeah, it was a lot. There was no more
God's
peace in the home.
God grace love. His
Yes.
grace, he moved on to our next while we were stuck in our past. And listen, write this down, type this down for anybody.
Wait, husband, you got to say that again. He moved on to
To
our
our
next.
next while we were stuck in our past.
Come here.
And it's the problem. A lot of us get reason why we can't go to our future because we still married to our past. If you can never move to your future if you're still married to your past. And for you to actually move to your future, you have to divorce your past. You got to say, I hate you. I don't want you no more. You're no longer part of me. We need to have a burial ceremony. We need to have a resurrection party. We need to celebrate our new.
Yeah.
Listen, the people want to understand why Clyde and Tonya keep, man, they keep, and I'm gonna say this just confidently and humbly, why Clyde and Tonya keep moving. They keep moving. They keep moving. We never unpack our bags anymore. We never get married.
Say that.
We
Stop.
never unpack our bags.
We never get married to our now.
We
Can
never.
somebody say, don't unpack your bags? Don't do it.
We
Don't do it.
me and my wife, we always laugh about this. My wife, she take a home mentality to a hotel. My wife get to the hotel and she get
Shut up.
there
I
and
can't stand you.
she unpack everything. She get comfortable like she gonna be there a lifetime. When I go to hotels, I literally live out my bag.
Yes, you do.
Listen, if there's ever a fire in the hotel, all my stuff gonna be good. I gotta grab one bag and go. I always live in my bag, and so we joke about that, but that's literally how we live spiritually. We live out our bags. Listen, what if I told you we in this? Somebody gonna judge me. We're in this beautiful home right now. Thank God for the home we're living in. We don't know how long we're gonna be here. I'm not married to this house. We're living on property that family gave us. Now, listen, I'm not gonna give up this property, but
Yeah.
I'm not married to this property. I'm not married to anything I'm doing. Well, somebody else will say that's lack of commitment. No, 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 no. I'm not I'm committed to it.
Wait, let me pause and say that everything in our life we've been committed to. We didn't say we're not committed. We are not married. Because if God want to shift and change, we're willing to not what they don't unpack the bags.
No,
We
in
are
fact,
willing to do whatever He say do. If He say stop, we gonna stop. If He say go, we gonna go. We have been married to a lot of things for a lot of years. We are committed. We have a covenant. Now there's a difference in commitment and covenant. Right?
hmm
Type that. There's commitment versus covenant. There's some things you have a covenant in, and it's understanding that covenant is powerful. We have a covenant in our marriage. We made a covenant before the Lord that to death do us part. That's a covenant in our marriage. We made a covenant with our spiritual leaders. We are covenant to them. They are our spiritual leaders for life. We are covered by them. We have a commitment and a covenant to our children. So there's a difference in just walking away. Because I don't want nobody to leave here thinking, oh man, I ain't gonna unpack my bag because baby, I'm gonna walk out this man. No, that's your covenant.
Yes, your covenant.
When you walk away from our covenant to New Destiny, I don't know if that's a covenant or not, but we there till the Lord say different.
We're committed to New Destiny.
We're committed to God say that. We've been there 14 years. I don't have a covenant with my nail tech or my hair person, but I've been with them 17, 18 years.
Committed.
You understand me? I'm committed to them. So know that there's a difference in commitment and covenant. So we're not saying just have your backpack, but God, if there's something you want me to do different, I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna go.
And we have not always been there, so we don't act like we're gonna want you to change overnight. But this starts here. We start realizing that when you got to start recognizing when the grass start withering where you are, when you got to start recognizing when the atmosphere shift where you are. I'm gonna tell you a secret. This is how God's work. He'll begin to say who you are. He'll begin to show you where you belong, and he'll begin to encourage you to move. And if you don't eventually move, he'll move without you.
Ooh, Jesus, don't make lie. You said a mouthful, sir.
He'll move without you and wait for you to show up.
My God, today.
And everything around you begin to start shriveling up. And you'll literally go from thriving to surviving.
Come on, husband.
And you listen, and where you're going, you won't believe that you can make it. And I'm reminded of these boys in 2 Kings. They had leprosy. I showed more at the scripture last night. And these guys with leprosy, and they said, if we stay here, we're gonna die. If we go back, we gonna die. So if we go forward, we may survive or they may kill us. But one thing we're not gonna do, we're not gonna stay here and die.
Wait, give him the scripture, husband. What's the scripture?
The scripture is 2 Kings. I gotta find it.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's okay. But it's in the scripture. He read it to me this morning. Messed me up.
And so what you gotta realize is that if you go back to who you was, ain't nothing but death back there.
Come on.
If you stay where you are right now, everything drying up. So to go forward, you're gonna die anyways. So you may die going forward, but you may live also. So it comes to be a point to where either I'm gonna keep struggling where I am, or I'm gonna die trying.
Come on.
So the thing is, the way you stop struggling and start surviving, start thriving, you can either say, I have no other choice. Or you start saying, what? As soon as God say move, I'm gonna move. As soon as God say move, I'm gonna move. I got tired of having to go from success to struggle to success, from success to struggle to success, because I keep being stubborn, and God gotta dry up everything before I move.
My God, today.
I just made up a move the other day. That was the scariest move of my life.
These on mainline.
But I refuse for God to have to dry up everything around me before I make a shift. I refuse to have to see my children go through hell again before I make a shift. I refuse to see my marriage struggle because I forgot. I wouldn't let my stubbornness, I'd rather look stupid moving forward than struggle staying where I was.
Man, let me tell you, and here's the thing, the reason why I know, because we've been there. We always share our story of being in that dang on house and staying there too long. And we saw everything. Y'all hear me when I say we saw everything dry up. We felt it. Our children felt it because of our chilly, bang, bang. When you don't make a move that is determined to not only you, but your entire generation, that can affect everything around you. That's how it's so important for you to bust a move. It is so, I dare you to type in the screen, bust a move. The move is not just for you. The move is for your entire lineage. My daughter said it yesterday. It is for your entire lineage. It's for your grandchildren. It's for when you leave here. Your move is just that big. When you make a move that is strategically in the will of God, oh my God, it is connected to everything around you. Everything around you. And because you move, come here, because you move and you bust a move, now your children, our daughter, come here. If it wasn't for we started a church, they in the church with us, our kid, y'all, shout out to my baby preaching her first sermon yesterday. Alana did an amazing job. And baby, she shared some stuff. As my girl Liz would say, she did it real soft. She cut you real soft, real soft. But she did an amazing job. But another one of my daughters, our baby girl, because of our move, our baby girl wrote a letter to her teacher saying the things that she want to do. And one of those things was she want to be in real estate because she's seen her parents move in real estate. Hear me when I say and then turned around and she's just 15. She'll be 16 in February. This girl said these words. She said, if the other girls don't take over the business, I'll take over the business. Because of our move, our baby is thinking entrepreneurship. You understand me? So her 11th grade year, which is next year, she want to go get her real estate license. You understand me? Because she saw her parents bust a move. Can I tell you, your move is not strategically just for you. Your move is, man, when you start thriving, you're running like Forrest. Like when we started moving like Forrest Gump.
That's it.
We just started running on the road. If you remember the movie, I need you to heart it up. If you remember the movie, Forrest Gump, we just started running. And we looked up and there was people behind us. Come here. That wanted to run with us. And baby, we going to keep on running. Happy hunting.
You have to. I found that scripture. You got the scripture on this, baby?
Yes.
Share that scripture real quick with them.
Yes, sir.
2 Kings 7:4. It says, these guys are sitting there. They have leprosy. They're at the gate, and like if I go back into the city, they're gonna kill us. They said, if we say, watch this. If we say we'll go into the city behind us, the famine is there, and we would die. That's where you come from. If you go back, you know famine is there. You're gonna die. If we stay here, where we are right now, we would die. So let's go over to the camp of the Arameans and surrender. If they spare us, we will live. If they kill us, then we'll die. If my forward progress kill me, at least I die moving. I refuse to die sitting still. I refuse to die sitting still. So God will literally put you in a corner and say, you know what? You went from thriving to surviving, struggling. You're going to stay here and live there, make that your new camp and call it struggle? Or are you going to trust me? Now listen, we gave you two things. Number one, we said you gotta embrace what God said about you. You gotta embrace, I don't belong here. I don't belong broke. I don't belong in this job. I don't belong in this career. I don't belong in this area. You got to admit, you got to wake up one day and your eyes got to become like Paul and the scales got to fall off. And you got to wake up and say, this is not us. This is not what God called me. I'm bigger than this. I'm better than this. Right. And then immediately, if you're going to get to the other side, you got to say, I got to change. You got to let the dead bury the dead. If you're not dying, let the folks dying hang out together. I need to get around and I need to change my environment. And watch this. Thirdly, you got to connect to the folk God told you to connect with. Before he told Mary, right when he told Mary she's pregnant, immediately he connected her with Elizabeth. He said, I got somebody who I need to connect with. So number 3, get a mentor. Yeah. Get somebody who done been through it. And listen, you won't just get anybody. God will literally connect you and say he'll show you who that person is. That person you would not like that person. That person will frustrate you because that person is supposed to push you. I never had a coach I liked. I loved them, I respect them, but I hated them because they pushed the hell out of me. They pushed the pain out of me. They pushed the problems out of me. What happens is we hang around folk who is impressed by us, but don't make an impression on us.
Come on.
I'm going to say it again. We hang around people who are impressed by us, but not people who make an impression on us. For people to make an impression on you, that means they literally got to push you so hard to when they leave you, there's a dent in you.
Come on.
Who do you have to push you?
Come on.
Or is everyone just pumping you up, blowing your head up, making you think that you're great? Be careful when everyone around you just pumping you up, because they may just be pumping you up so they can take from you, but they're really not trying to give to you. Is everyone taking from you, or is anybody around you giving to you?
Come on.
So we're in the season. If you really want to get to the other side, God told Mary, he says, I'm going to make you pregnant. And then he mentions Elizabeth. She's already in her 6th month. of her miraculous pregnancy. He gonna give you somebody who's already ahead of you and where you're going. Remember this: mentors are meant to get you to the other side.
Come on. And I want to say that, and I'm so glad you in. See, y'all, I don't be knowing his points. I like because I like to be authentic. But you know, this leads me to baby. So yes, it does. But I want to say this before I say that is that we're not telling you something that we heard. Whenever we share with you our experiences because we were surviving, because I was surviving. And it wasn't until I connected to Anona Jones that made me thrive. It wasn't until I connected with Coach Brooks. It wasn't until we connected with our coach now, Coach, what's his name, Mike? What's his name?
Yeah,
Anyway,
Mike.
yeah, Coach Mike, where we connected with them. We connected with people that have went ahead of us, and these people coaches us and mentors us in business and life. Our spiritual leaders, we've been under their covering for now 20 years. Super excited about that. 20 years of a covenant with them that we've been in ministry with them. And so we have different people in different areas. They're in our spiritual area, and I hate to say it, but they in business as well. Our spiritual leaders also cover us like in business and marriage, in ministry, all of that. We learn and we glean from them even in those areas. But we also have mentors that teaches us in our life. We also have mentors that and coaches that teaches us in our business. Right now, our coach is pushing us in business to a whole nother level. I always say this: don't tell me who you're over till you tell me who you're under. Who covering you? Who making sure that you are being pushed uncomfortably out of your comfort zone? Out of your comfort zone.
And I want to add something there real quick before you move forward because that is so important, right? I told a young man yesterday, my bishop pastors my marriage, my bishop pastors my business, my bishop pastors my family. Be careful when you only want your spiritual leaders to lead you in segments of your life.
Oh,
And what you're really doing is saying, I don't want you to hold me accountable over here. I only want you to hold me accountable to what I want to thrive in spiritually. And the things I want to thrive in my own way, I don't want you part of it. Don't ask me to be your bishop. Don't ask me to be your covering if I'm only covering parts of your marriage. I got to cover your whole marriage. Even when you talk about what your wife did, tell me what you did too.
yeah,
I
that
want,
part.
and then don't tell me to cover your marriage, but then you can't put your business in here, and you been cooking your business, and you and your both wife hiding your business. If we're gonna cover the same, we got to cover the whole thing.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna have spiritual leaders, you should be willing to go and say, "Look, I'm about to make a big decision. Can you pray with me? I
Yes.
made a bad decision. Can you pray with me?"
Come on.
We listen when you do this thing, you can't compromise in one area, but you want to thrive in another area.
Right.
When one root begin to get infected, it affects the whole entire tree.
That part.
So you can't look to have a thriving, flourishing, tree full of leaves, but yet you got one bad root that's over here stuck somewhere else. You've got to be willing to say, you know what, God, I'm going to commit to you in every area of my life. And if
Right.
I'm gonna have somebody hold me accountable, they can hold me accountable to every area of my life. I don't know who I'm speaking to, but I'm gonna say it to you again. If you're gonna have spiritual leaders, let them pastor your marriage, let them pastor your ministry, let them pastor your mind, let them pastor your money, let them pastor your business, let them pastor every part of you because every part of you should be spiritual, not
Right.
just everything just within church. I'm sorry, I had to say that real quick.
No, I'm glad. That's good. And you might have a pastor that may not even in anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone. But yo, that's good. I love it. Um with that said, husband, share the 3 points one more time. We have new people that are joining. So share the 3 points that we have discussed so far one more time. If you're watching, make sure you watch the replay. Listen to this, those of you that are jumping on. But I want to share those 3 points again. We're talking about stop surviving and start
And start
thriving.
thriving.
Let's see your
I say
next.
number one, surviving is number one that you're doing exactly what you hold up. Surviving means you only have enough to get by. I only have enough to get by. And the reason why you have enough to get by because God told you to move somewhere else and you didn't, and everything around you started to dry up. So if you're gonna thrive with me, I'm getting everything God has for me. So how do I go from surviving to thriving? Number one, I got to embrace what God said about me. The reason why I didn't move because I didn't believe it. I didn't accept it. This is something hard. I didn't want to accept it. God told me to be preaching. So God told me to get another job. God told me to do this. And I didn't want to embrace it. Well, you know what? I'm tired of struggling where I am at. So I'm going to embrace what God said. Then once you embrace what God said, then you got to separate from people around you who don't see like you see. And then you got to connect with a mentor that can, who God will literally touch your heart and say, that person there is where I need to be. I need to connect with them. He showed Mary Elizabeth. He showed Timothy Paul. He showed Elijah. God will always show you someone who touch your heart and say, they are where I'm trying to get to. I need to follow them. Listen, they'll touch the inside of you, not the outside of you. You need
Come
to get
on.
someone who moves your heart on the inside, not move your desire on the outside. You
Come
just,
on.
and they got them because what they're driving. You connect with them on how they living. But you don't realize that's all fake and fraud. When someone move your heart and not your eyes, that's the person that's going to pull the best out of you.
Come on. That part. So with that said, yes, I'm about to do it. With that said, this is Cyber Monday, man. I am getting ready. And for those of you that have signed up, I dare you to hold it up. I see some of you guys on here that have signed up for my Butterfly Academy mentorship program. Yes, I'm doing it. You're live with us. I'm doing it. Is that we have a Butterfly Academy mentorship program where I mentor women. I mentor women. I encourage women. I empower women in their next. And in this program, it is a 90-day challenge. What better way to kick your week, your year off with this 90-day challenge? Anything you want to add, husband, about my night? Because I've been talking to you about it. I don't really know how to explain it. But I will say this, there's 3 different phases that we're sharing in there. We're sharing the first phase of your foundation building. You know, how are you building your foundation? What does that look like? We're also sharing your skill development. This is where I show you how to develop your skill, which is, what is your skill? Your gift. The
I
very
want let me stop real quick first because I want to assign some people
okay.
because one thing we learned as business owners and one thing we learned as mentors is that, like we said earlier, everybody's not for us and we're not for everybody. Everybody's not for us, not everybody, not everybody's for. But if somebody's on this call and I've been watching Pastor T, say, you know what, man, I really respect her. I really respect what she's doing. I respect her marriage. I respect her ministry. I love the fact that, look, she's writing books. Everything about her speaks to who I am. And I wanted to call her. I wanted to reach out to her, but it's a thing with African Americans. We don't like to submit to someone else and say, I need you to take me to my next, because we feel like we're saying we need you. But I'm gonna tell you right now, man. If, like I said earlier, that if that person, that mentor, God would have called you to this person, maybe on this live day, because you saw Pastor Tonya and said, "Man, that's the young lady again." That's that man. That's that first lady again. And you're like, you know what? I need to connect. This is the time to connect. She literally have been helping women for years, and she went through phases. And this thing that she has, a butterfly a mentor group academy, has been evolving. She's now thrown me into the mix. And listen, if you ever wanted to learn how to do our financial literacy course, this one's going to be provided for you in this package. And part of the deal, she's every year that she expands, her everything she's connected to expands. So if you was in it one time before, yes, thank you, Sister Tanya. If you didn't want to
Can't wait.
listen, and listen, the crazy thing is, Tanya, I knew you was called to my wife a long time ago. Just throughout the years, I know that you was called to her a long time ago. But as she expands, everything she has to expand. So whatever you touched before, if she's grown since then, it's gonna be bigger. And so the BAM Academy this year is way bigger. I'm really proud of her. So I'm going to just say that I'm not going to try to act like it's for everybody. It's it's for that person who know I need to be pushed from my surviving to my thriving. I've been stuck. I've been watching this lady. I know I've seen her fruit. Her fruit speaks for her. I need to get into this thing. So I had to just say that, baby, because yeah, some people gonna sign up and they're not gonna survive. They're not gonna stick in there. That
Right.
person is gonna stick in there is that person who know what they know they was called to you.
Yeah. I will say this is that what I love about it, Lady McGee said, if you're considering it, do it, it jump. You'll be glad you did it. I'm excited because here's the thing, when I do Okay, y'all. I don't know what happened. Are y'all still here? Our whole internet went out. Okay, husband, you back. Jesus on the main line. I rebuke. Is it still showing live? Somewhere or any type of thing. I want y'all to. Okay, I'm gonna see. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Okay. That's weird. Okay, so anyway, back to what I was saying. Thank y'all for still staying right here. I appreciate it. Baby,
Are they
I'm like,
still
I
there?
don't know what happened. Huh?
Are they still there?
Yeah, it's people still here. Thank y'all for
Okay.
rocking out and staying. We don't know what happened, baby. We just jumped right back on.
Yeah.
So our whole internet went out at the house. But anyway, uh, what was I saying? So listen, I'm super excited because I have ladies that are coming back to this program. Why? Because every program that I do for the Butterfly Academy mentorship is something different. It is never the same. It is always different. And this 90-day is even that. It is even more different than the others. So I encourage you, man. Today is the last day to sign up. I do have a pay after plan after today. You're able to make I think it's pay after. You're able to pay after, but I want you to join. Even if you're a part of New Destiny, if New Destiny, some of you have been in this program before, I promise you, every program I do, I've had ladies, I was telling Bishop last night that have joined the program. This is like their fourth time. Every time they could tell you that it's different. This is some their second time that are joining the program. I thank y'all for believing in what we're doing and signing up because I promise you, we give 110% if you've ever been a part of that. And I'm not just saying it just to be saying it. I wanted to make sure that this program was feasible and not trying to take everybody's money. I think Lady McGee, she did a video on how it is worth the pay. It is
Yeah.
worth the pay. The only reason why I really, really charge is because if you pay, you pay attention.
Yeah.
If you don't pay, you ain't paying attention. If you invest it,
And
you
also, the part of what you teach them too, that your time is valuable.
that part.
And if you realize you value yourself, you got to realize I'm giving you a lot of time. If I don't add value to me, you won't even value me. And
Right.
so she teaches you that, and part of your journey is learning your profit value. And if
Mhm.
you're going to show up somewhere, you got to learn that everything that you do should at some point evolve to some type of cost. And if you're going to definitely benefit other people.
Yeah. So I would encourage you, today is Cyber Monday. This is the last day for this particular sale. I'm gonna show it real quick. Oh, it's behind us. I don't know how to put it in front of us.
You just
I don't
got to
know what
do it
I'm
as
doing.
you do
It's
as a
behind.
flyer.
Oh, okay. But this will be a good day to. I wonder will it work when I do this? Let me take it off. But this will be the last day for Cyber Monday, Black Friday. Is for this
There you go.
sale of, yes. Thank you, husband. Where am I at? Let me go and take something off. Um, is to be able to sign up for 115. Now after that it's 255, but 115 for you to be able to sign up today. But you gotta sign up today before midnight to be a part of it. Again, I'm excited because I have new Destiny members that have signed up. I have other ladies that have signed up, new ladies that have signed up, and I can't wait for y'all. I don't like to put who's out there until y'all meet in the actual event. So I can't wait for you guys. I'm super duper excited to say there's 7 women signed up so far during the Black Friday sale. I was like, yes, every time I saw it. So join us. I don't know when I'm going to stop or when I'm going to cut it off, but I do know that
Yeah.
I'm looking for a number and I want that number. And I'm believing God for that amount of women because I just want to see you win. And I want to show you how to do that. She say worthy for more
More
than
financial.
financial
Yes.
request. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's worth more than that.
I'm
I
trying to
give
figure
my
out
all.
how she gonna do a greater than 50% discount. That 50% of that she just gave y'all still. And one thing I know about her is she's gonna give all. She's gonna listen, ladies. I've been exposed to this for the last few years. Every time she's done it, and the women get bare ball, open and bare, and they expose themselves, and it's a healing environment. I've seen her come out with tears. I've seen her come out sweating. I've seen her come out like she went and like she every time come out like she's got through being a midwife and like, man, how many babies you birthed out this time?
That's what I feel
And,
like too.
and she has sweat all down her back, and then sometimes she come out, excited in the world like she ready to go knock down a wall. And so she literally is taking each of you, and she's taking y'all on in her belly. She's
Yeah.
taking y'all on her heart. She's going to bed with y'all on her mind. She's waking up. So this is giving a lot of energy, and every time especially last couple of times, women are coming out. I mean, I saw Lady McGee. Yeah, my wife told me about your celebration that you did, and then also Lady Perez and what she did, and watching the other ladies is doing. I mean, this is amazing. I'm like,
And
dang.
I want to share their testimony too. The testimony of Lady McGee was one that was in the program. She signed up again. I can't wait. Look, I'm telling my business, but I'm super duper excited. Listen, this is for pastor, any kind of woman. It does not matter. We're able to be in this room together and grow together. But one of the things was that she does a talk show, and and our goal was to turn it into a live talk show. And she just did it on her birthday, November 23rd. She just did her live talk show, and it was successful. Then I have Lady Perez. She's out of Mexico, and she did a women's conference for the first time ever, and it was, I think, 80 women that showed up. It's testimonies that are happening, that they were in a place of complacency, and then they moved to something more. And I'm going forever. I'm not going to say this is not really something that I would say sell, but this is something that I know works, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. I
Yes.
know that it works, and my goal, the reason why I know it worked, because it worked for me. Let me just say that it worked for me. My life is unrecognizable because of the different tools and tips that I share throughout this band program. So if you ever want to kick off a year in the
I
beginning of
correct.
the year,
I correct though, because she said for anybody.
oh
She
my
gonna
bad.
say it for anybody, but I'm gonna say it's not. If you're a woman who want people to do the work for you, and you don't want to do the work, it's not for you. If you're somebody who looking to just show up in a room and you're automatically gonna get help, it's not for you. This for a person who says, I'm a woman who I know I'm bigger than this, I know I'm better than this, but also I'm ready to put the work in.
Yeah,
You're
and you
gonna have
got to
to
be
put the
ready
work
because
in.
it's gonna be work.
Yeah.
Lady McGee, tell them it's gonna be work. So if you're not ready to really, really put in the work and really, really start, this is not for you.
I got a saying that I say in the Lions Den is that you're not gonna change because you paid admission.
That part.
You're not gonna change because you paid attention.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna change because you went and implemented the process into your life.
That
So if
part.
you say, "Oh, when I paid mine and I listened and I showed every class up and I did this and everything," but yeah, if you didn't go put the work in, it's not gonna work. Lady
Yeah.
McGee had to go do her workshop. She had to go put. Look, Pastor Tanya couldn't fly way over to what she's at in Philly.
No, New Jersey.
She couldn't find New Jersey and put on her conference for her, but she got the opportunity to see the conference that she put on because she
Yeah.
believed in herself. She went from surviving to thriving.
Yeah.
You have to do the work.
You have to do the work. So I would say again to anyone that ever been a part of my band program before, if you loved it before, I grow, you grow, right? So it would never be the same because I'm growing, I'm learning something new, something different. And as I learn, I teach what I learn. And so in this 90-day, it is going to be a challenge.
Yep,
Remember that. So before you sign up, make sure you read them fine print challenge, that it is going to be a challenge, but it's going to be worth it.
that's it,
So sign up today, last day to get the $100 off. Last day
baby.
to get the
That's
$100
more than a
off.
hundred. That
That's
that
more than
is, yeah.
it
You you
is.
you 255 minus 115.
Really, that's more than 100.
That's way more than 100.
You lying for real?
255
I didn't know that. I thought
minus
I was. Bitch, you
that
did.
is $140 discount.
Ooh, I didn't know I did that. I just want. Oh my god. Okay,
If I told them they're getting a steal,
$140. Dang, I didn't know I did that. See, that's why I should have had you help me with my numbers. Because I was just like, you know what? I'm going to just charge, whatever. So anyway, it's $140 off
it should
versus
have been
$100.
it should
Y'all,
have
when I
been
say I didn't know
127.
I did that, I didn't know I did that. I wasn't trying to do that.
Yeah,
But
that's okay. That's all right. Y'all got to steal. Y'all got to steal.
you got to steal. Yeah, you better get it today, the last day. I ain't doing no more steals after today. That's it. That's all I'm doing. So join us now. Tonya.com. You can go and click the link that's in one of the things. Click it, and she said, help her, Bishop." Yeah, I should have had him help me. He know numbers. I don't know numbers like that. But join the band program. Be a part of that. Again, New Destiny ladies, I would tell you this: I give differently in my band than I do with New Destiny. Unfortunately, but fortunately, I still give to New Destiny every month. but it's a different kind of feel to be able to push, and you don't have no other choice. In New Destiny, you can make a choice, but in the BAM, I'm pushing you to a whole nother level. So join me, be a part of it, be a part of that. Today's the last day for the cyber. That's it. That's all I have, Bishop. We're sorry
I
about
just,
the internet, but we're back. Thank y'all for
uh,
joining back on too, babe. They joined back
yeah.
on.
I just said to y'all, just as you go forth, man, you know, stop being okay with not being okay. Stop
Yeah,
being okay. If you know you're not okay, let's do something about it. I don't
yeah,
belong here. It's just nothing worse than having that mentality of this is where I belong. I'm
yeah,
gonna die here. You should say, if I go back, I'm gonna die.
yeah.
If I stay here, I'm gonna die.
Right.
At least if I go forward, I may live, but if I die, I didn't die here.
Yeah. So sign
Yep.
up for the band. If you're there and you feel like you're at a place that I just need to go forward, get in the room with other like-minded women. And this
Yep.
would be the room to get into for a woman that is at a place of complacency, stuck, and trying to embrace your next. And I'm not gonna, and it's therapeutic. I would say
Yes.
that. You think so, Lady McGee? I think it's therapeutic because you get a chance to hear other women and see that you're not the only one going through, right? You're not the only one that's experiencing pain. You're not the only one. You're not the only one that this has happened to. You find that out. So if you're at that place, and I feel it in my belly, and I feel like I know who I'm talking to, but make sure that you sign up. If you're connected to me, be connected to me and sign up and be a
Yeah.
part of this. She
Yes,
say
sir.
very, yeah, it's very therapeutic, very, very therapeutic. I'll let you know I'm not a counselor, but we do we pull out the stuff under the rug. We do kick it off with that. So other than that, that's all I have, husband. I just want to share that. I thank you for rocking out.
All right. Well, God bless y'all. We love you, and I pray over your Monday. I pray over your month, and I pray over your upcoming year. Be blessed, and remember that you are God's perfect creation.
All right. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye bye.
Bye.